What is going on? It is week 5, if you can believe it. We had a pretty good week 4. Had some great calls last week that we're going to talk about on the show. So hang tight.
Going for 2, kickers are extra, I give them the boot. Ooh, going for 2, sit back, relax while I grab me a brew. Ooh, now I'm reclining while putting my time and I'm ready to go. My spine is aligning and much my lineups, my bank account grow. I am so rich, but knowledge is all that I'm leaving it with. Ooh, listen to this, multiple options, how far can I get? Ooh, DFS Dynasty redraft tonight, I'm not finishing last. I'm finishing past any and all, I am looking to last. What else? This spot is popping and I am so locked in and only opening the door when it is opportunity knocking. And all of these spots keep on talking and talking. So what are we talking? What kind of alignment? And running it deep, even players forgotten or came from the bottom or hitting that top end. And this spot is popping, yeah, this spot is popping. And woo! This is the armchair, yeah. Put up your arms, yeah. Sound the alarm, yeah, yeah, yeah. Ooh.
What is going on, and welcome to episode 435 of the Armchair Fantasy Show. I am your host, of course, Geoff Lambert. Follow me on Twitter at JeffLambert77. Of course, we're here tonight to break down week 5 for DraftKings DFS, and I'm here with my 2 co-hosts. First up, we got Super Mario over here. What's up, G? You look like Mario right now.
My name is Jose Rodrigo, okay? This week, I am Jose Rodrigo.
I love it. How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Had an okay week on DFS. Nothing big. Basically broke even. Killed it on Pick'em.
Yeah.
I mean, Thursday night was off to a good start. I won $1,400 on Pick'em. I can't say the other site name, so not my fault.
You could say it. It's all right.
I won on Prize Pick.
Yeah.
I put on Underdog too, so
good stuff. Tim, what's up, man? How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Like Gerson. I lost in cash, but I did pretty well in tournaments. In honor of Gerson and his lock it in last week, I got myself a case of Modelo's.
Nice.
So cheers, brother.
Good stuff. I'll cheers with my body armor.
Kona. Today I'm drinking that Kona Wave.
Nice.
I see that.
Good stuff. Yeah, so I had a pretty good week. It was my first really good week of the year, so I was excited about that. Not only did I do good in DFS, I did good on Underdog. I did good on DraftKings Sportsbook. I pretty much crushed it all over, so it was a really good week. Even season-long fantasy, I won most of the leagues I care about. So overall, good week. Unfortunately, my Niners lost last week, but they won last night, so it kind of made up for it.
Man,
all right.
Man.
Yeah, it was what a game. Exactly. It was a crazy game. Had me sweating to the very end. I thought for sure we were going to blow it, but we found a way to pull it out. It's pretty awesome. All right, let's get to the rewind.
The weekly rewind. Rewind.
All right, I will kick us off tonight with our one good, one bad. My one bad was my lock of the week last week, Justin Herbert's. Truthfully, I wanted to go with Puka, but that was cheating. So I went with Justin Herbert as an alternative, and that didn't really pay off for me. I think he only had 14 points, so not a great play there. But I did talk about Genty and his potential breakout. I know we talked about a little bit of his ownership and how we didn't think it would, why he was owned that much. We couldn't understand it, but I did think he was going to break out, and break out he did. Had a monster game, helped out a ton of my tournament lineups. I did not play him in cash. I should have, but I did not. But it helped me out big time in the tournament. So he was my one good. Tim, what you got?
Yeah. So last week I said that I thought that Michael Penix could be the Russell Wilson of the week, that low-owned guy that goes crazy. And my best lineups were almost all. I told you my best lineup was my Justin Herbert lineup, but I also had a lot of really good lineups with Michael Penix, right? Stacked with Pitts and Bijan and of course, Drake London. But unfortunately, that was also my one bad, is that I played Jacoby Myers over Drake London in cash. And that basically ended up being the difference that sunk my week. So we move.
Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a whole story pre-show. It was somewhat justified. He was Russian, and he pulled a Gerson the time that you came over here to visit us, and you were trying to crunch your numbers in the car on the way to the game, and you kind of screwed up. It's kind of what Tim ended up doing, the same thing. What about you, G? What you got for your one good, one bad?
Yeah, my one good was my lock of the week, Omarion Hampton. I said that he was going to get the workload at that price, it justify it, and well, he killed it. I mean, I think he got like 29 points, right? Something
Yeah.
like that.
It was more than that, maybe.
Yeah, so killed it. My one bad, I'll say it because you guys are too pansy to say it, but we didn't justify that ownership. So myself, that's basically telling the people, I don't know if I'm going to play him that much, you know. So that's the one bad. But I did play him. I actually ended up getting about 12% of him. So,
well, you didn't give us the name. Who are you talking about?
Ashton Genty.
Yeah, Ashton Genty.
Yeah, I mean, his ownership was like the second highest, and I was like, I don't know about that, but he wasn't my second highest running back owned. I'll tell you that. So
yeah. I didn't have him in my cash lineup. If I was believing in him, I would have had him in my cash lineup, and I would have really crushed it. I did have him in some tournament lineups though, because I thought there's a possibility that he could go off. So it worked out for me. But yeah, I did not have him in my cash lineup. I probably should have, but did not. All right, let's go ahead and get to the quarterbacks.
Let's talk quarterbacks.
All right, Tim, kick us off here.
Yeah, I'm going right back to your lock of the week from last week, Justin Herbert. He's at home this week and gets a much better matchup against the Washington Commanders. They've gotten blown out 2 weeks in a row, first by Geno and then last week, as I mentioned, by Michael Penix. And now it is Justin Herbert's turn. He still leads the league in pass rate over expectation, and he's still 6,100. So I think there's another guy we're going to talk about here in a minute that's going to be super popular, but I'm probably going to be playing Herbert.
Yeah, Herbert at 6.1 is definitely a good play against Washington. I have him on my list as well. I don't have a ton of quarterbacks this week. I'm kind of limited on play this week, but Herbert is definitely on the list.
It's our first kind of smaller slate, right? Where we don't have 13 games or whatever.
Right. I was gonna say I didn't talk
bye
about
week.
the beginning. We got 4 games on a bye. Plus, of course, you got the Thursday and the Monday games and the Sunday night games. So yeah, it's a small slate for sure. What about you, G? What you got for one of your favorite quarterbacks?
I'm gonna go to what we do every week. We pick on the Cowboys. We go to the flow chart, right? Who are the Cowboys playing? All right, play the quarterback. Justin Fields this week. He is going to be highly owned. He's going to be the highest owned quarterback for sure. But his price is really cheap. $5,600 for a rushing quarterback, Konami quarterback. But what I like about this Konami quarterback, he honed in on his weapon. So like it's very how do you say it? When it's like
condensed.
Yeah, very condensed. And it's just Russell Wilson, Garrett Wilson, then another player we'll name later, and then Breece Hall. And the best part about this with Breece Hall, the Cowboys are among the worst against pass catching running back, and Breece Hall can catch. We've seen them throw green passes to him, and he could take it to the house. But his rushing upside is what makes him so special, though. I mean, in the 2 full games that he has played, and not been injured, that is worrisome. He does get hurt sometimes, but he rushed for 129 yards and 3 touchdowns. So that's in DraftKings and like fantasy, you get that out of a quarterback. Oh, you're smashing at least 20 points right away. So and that defense hasn't been all that great this year. So that's what I like also. I'm not really a big fan of the Jets this year. They've just been playing ugly football all over. I don't know. I thought Aaron Glenn would be better than this, but I don't know if it's him or the players.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I like Justin Fields as well, obviously for the rushing upside. The only quarterback that I had in my favorite plays that y'all hadn't already talked about, and it's more of a GPP play, definitely not a cash game play, and that's Jaden Daniels making his return. Because he is the rushing quarterback, we don't have the we don't have the Lamar Jackson on the slate. We don't have Josh Allen on the slate. A guy that can get you 30, 35 plus points if he's really on his game. And, I live here in Washington, D.C., so I get to hear all the news. And from all purposes, last week he could have played if they really wanted him to play. They kept him out 1 more week, so he's fully healthy. Now, do they keep him sort of chained behind the line of scrimmage and make sure he doesn't run that much? That's to be seen. But at 7K, I still like Jaden Daniels this week, and he's got a condensed targets as well because I think Terry McLaurin will be out once again. So it's going to be basically Deebo Samuel and Zach Ertz are going to be his targets to in the game there. So Jaden Daniels is kind of my GPP play for low ownership as well. Let's see, Gerson, you have let's talk about Daniel Jones a little bit. I want you to mention him a little bit. 5,800.
Yeah, I mean Daniel Jones. I mean he's been playing lights out. Who would have thought that he'd be the number one quarterback in fantasy, right? But it's quite incredible. I mean the Colts they're just dominating. I mean they're just flat out dominating. And the last game should have been even a better game if it wasn't for. I don't know if he's still on the team or they left him over there. Adonai Mitchell. Yeah. I mean, 2 boneheaded mistakes. A holding call that I'm really, really, really pissed because that would have hit my Jonathan Taylor prop. And I had a lot of Jonathan Taylor on a 65-yard. It was a pass, too. A receiving touchdown for him. And then, what's his name? And then the other one was where he dropped the ball in the end zone. So, but yeah, Daniel Jones, he has rushing upside. He has playing the Raiders. We already talked about how the Raiders they're the worst. They run cover 3 the most, and they're the worst at it. So I don't know how you run something that you suck at, but apparently the Raiders are really good at it. And you wouldn't believe who's the number one graded at cover 3. It's Daniel Jones. He's gonna shred them apart, and it's crazy to say. It's crazy to say he's gonna shred them apart. I never think that I'd hear those words come out of my mouth about Daniel Jones. But the Raiders' defense is pretty awful, and we saw it last week with Caleb Williams. We saw it the week before with. It's just every quarterback. Just Justin Herbert. Anybody that face him, they have a good game. But his price hasn't gone up significantly, not a lot. So. I think it's a good pivot, and I do think that the Raiders are going to be just Geno Smith can just turn the ball over and over and over. And even if just say they have to run the ball, well, guess what? Daniel Jones can still get those first down, and he scrambles. So yeah,
agreed.
Yeah.
What about you, Tim? What do you got down in your value tier here?
Yeah, I love that Daniel Jones call. I'll just say, first of all, I think it's like Fields, Herbert, Daniel Jones, and then like a drop in terms of like my expectations. We didn't talk about Hurts. I like Hurts a little bit, but I'll probably won't be playing much of him. This guy was almost my sit call of the week, but I'm going to use him as my value quarterback, and that's Bryce Young. We talk about how the Cowboys have the worst pass defense in the league. Well, the second worst is the Miami Dolphins. And everybody's going to be playing Justin Fields, but nobody will be playing Bryce Young. At 4,700, I think if he was ever going to have a 25-point game, which I think he's already had one this season, it's going to be at home against the Dolphins. So, this is just my, crazy, what do they call it? The 6-stack, vomit stack of the week is Bryce Young. And that just tells you how ugly this slate is, that we have 5 quarterbacks and one of them is Bryce Young.
Yeah, exactly.
I call that galaxy brain in Tim, but yeah.
Yep.
So the last quarterback that I had, I only had 3 quarterbacks on my list for the show sheet, and that's Jackson Dart. I played him in my cash lineup last week. Of course, he was much cheaper last week. He's 5.3. I still think he's viable. Obviously, he gets the rushing upside. He gets a matchup versus New Orleans, who actually has been playing better defense than we expected them to. They actually hung tight a little bit with the Bills last week, but I think at a point where Dart will get his rushing yards, maybe he improves a little bit as a passer in game 2 of these starts, and at 5.3, he's still a pretty good value for me.
Yeah, that was going to be my other one good, Jackson Dart.
Dart, yeah, he played really well last week. I mean, perfect purposes. I mean, he ended up winning the game. He didn't, light the scoreboard up, but
I did the whole. I tried to put it into my optimizer where I could play Jackson Dart and then stack other players, not that team, like other games.
Yeah,
so I had like
one off.
Yeah, well, not even one off, just like a full stack. So like, let's say the Cowboy stacks or something, But and it worked. It actually, I was like, wow, I didn't even know I could do this. Well, I knew I could do it, but I never tried my hardest to do it. And I'm like, I'm gonna do it this week because he had that rushing upside, and it was fun watching him play. But he's gonna get killed one day.
Yeah, sure. All right, I'll just mention the last couple of quarterbacks that we had that we didn't talk about. Dak Prescott at 6,000 is on the list, and Gino at 5,400 is also on the list. All right, let's get to tight ends.
Did somebody say tight ends?
All right, let's see. I'll go first this time because I'll take. Well, I guess Gerson's got this guy on his list too, but I'm going to talk about Tyler Warren one more time. You know, we've talked about him pretty much every show since week one. He's 4.7 now, a little bit more expensive than he was earlier in the season, but I think he's still at that point where he's playable. We've already talked about the Las Vegas Raiders and their defense, so Tyler Warren is going to be targeted heavily. So at 4.7, if I'm paying up, he's one of the guys that I'm looking at in that top tier. What about you, Tim? What do you got in that top level?
Yeah, I'm going to be playing Jake Ferguson. I think he was the first tight end I really looked at when I look at this slate. Jets are kind of a tight end funnel. They have strong corners, and they tend to funnel a lot of targets to tight end, which works out because he is basically their leading target getter that is still playing with CeeDee Lamb out. So, I think him and Warren, I think it's a coin flip. I think you can go either way this week. They're both strong plays, and I think a good tier above really any other tight end play.
Yep. And Gerson, you have a tight end that's kind of fallen a little bit, but he seems to be fully healthy now. Brock Bowers.
I wouldn't say he's fully healthy because he had a DNP the last 2 days. So, but his price is still warranted, right? It's 5.5K.
Mm-hmm.
If I can just get that mid-tier price is what I'm looking for. Again, I mentioned the Raiders, they don't play defense. So the offense is going to be out there a lot. And they're going to have to keep up with the Colts. There's no way they're going to, flat out dominate the Colts. Colts are playing so good on both sides of the ball. I mean, if Bowers, you got to watch the news too, because something tells me if he goes out, if he's out, they said he's going to play. Pete Carroll said he's going to play, but I can't tell you the biggest lying coach ever is Pete Carroll. I mean,
He
he's definitely the number one. I mean, but he's but Brock Bowers, 5.5K, they're going to be playing from behind. They're going to have to throw the ball, and they're going to go straight to him. And I don't know if they need to tell Gino, hey, dude, you need to stop throwing the ball 40 yards down the field and right into the safeties, man. Your interceptions are ridiculous. Maybe go underneath to your biggest weapon, Brock Bauer, because I can't tell you how many times he was wide open and he missed them, totally missed them. I was like, wow, are you kidding me? How blind are you? I mean, there was a TikTok that said there's football players with disability, and they said Geno Smith, he's blind in both of his eyes. That's how bad it is. But yeah, he's gonna get the targets. Hopefully they change up the game plan, and I'm just going more for the usage. He's gonna get the usage, and that's what we want in our tight end. But honestly, I'm probably gonna have my heaviest exposure, a lot of my exposure to Jake Ferguson.
Yeah.
So he's gonna be there, and then the other guy you're probably gonna talk about.
Yeah, I want to talk about last year we retired this drop because we didn't think this player was going to come.
Yeah.
And so he is back, and I'm going to hit the drop, and then Tim will talk about him.
Yeah, man, if you were playing Monday Night Football, either the two-gamer or the showdown slate, I hope you had Darren Waller, who came back in a big way with 2 touchdowns on Monday night. We didn't talk about this during Justin Fields segment, but this is really, in my opinion, the first real Monday night pricing special of the year. Half of the best plays on this slate are because of things that happened on Monday night. And one of those is certainly the reemergence of the rapper, better known as Darren Waller. I think this week, we're going to talk about it later, but Tyreek Hill is out. That condenses Tua's target tree. And so it seems to me that when they get down into the red zone, last year he looked for Jonnu Smith. This year he's looking for Darren Waller. So 3,500. If I'm not playing Ferguson or I'm not playing Warren in my lineup, he will probably be my third highest exposure.
Good stuff.
I have two things to say about Darren Waller. One, you're an idiot. Kelsey Plum is hot. 2, welcome back. And he did that on only like 28% of the what is it called snap share.
Yeah.
So like, it's incredible to get 2 touchdowns and just come in and do that. And he looked fast. He doesn't look slow. He looks fast. I was like, holy crap. All right.
And that first one was like a falling out of bounds toe tap, like mid-season form, man. Love to see it.
Yep. Good stuff. All right. I'll talk about my value guy. I just noticed that Gerson has my other value guy as a sick call, so I'm not going to mention him. But I will talk about a guy that's – so if you've been watching this show for a while, you know that a lot of times I'm a week or two early. I put a guy on my sick call. He doesn't do very well when I call him out, and then he blows up, which actually happened last night. I had Kendrick Bourne a few weeks ago as my sick call.
That's true.
Last week he gets 10. Yesterday he gets 10 catches, 150 yards or whatever it was. So I had Rondé Gatson as my sick call, and he didn't do a whole lot for me last week. So this week I'm putting him in my value tier at 2.7 versus Washington, because this will be the week that he blows up, because I'm always a week early on these guys. So he was getting a good amount of targets there for a while. Last week only got 3, but he did get 7 the week before that. I think this could be his coming out party versus Washington at 2.7. He's still pretty cheap and usable for sure.
Can I just answer Joe's question? I don't think it's a double tight end week. There is too much value at other position. You're going to want to use that flex position for running back or wide receiver.
I want to play 5 running backs this week, so it's a no-brainer for me.
Agreed. All right, I just mentioned the last couple of guys. Tim has got Tommy Tremble on his list, and Gerson's got a sick call that we can't mention.
Did we mention Tyler Warren?
I did,
of course.
Okay. I mentioned. Yep.
Okay, double checking.
All right, let's get to the running backs.
It's time for running backs. Running backs.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and hit the double drop.
Lock it in.
All right, I'm locking in Devon Achane. He's got double-digit fantasy points every game this year. As long as Tua is healthy, he is getting a ton of targets. He had a game with 10 targets and 8 receptions. He had a game with 9 targets and 7 receptions. He didn't get a ton receptions last week. He only had 2 targets, but they'll go right back to him, especially with no Tyreek Hill in there. That's one less mouth to feed with Devon Achane coming out of the backfield catching passes. This guy is one of the few running backs in the league that's getting a ton of snaps, and he plays obviously even on passing downs, rushing downs, the whole 9. He gets a great matchup with Carolina this week. So at 7.3, I think he is a awesome value. Unfortunately, he's also going to be one of the highest owned on the slate. But I do think I still like him. Lock him in. Devon Achane is my lock of the week. Let's go to you first, Tim.
Yeah, I love that call. Like you said, he'll probably end up being the highest owned or one of the highest owned. One guy that I really like that I'm actually happy is not getting as much ownership this week is Jahmyr Gibbs. He was the first player I really looked at when I looked at this slate. He gets basically the best matchup or second best matchup for running backs against the Cincinnati Bengals. And on top of that, we know Jared Goff does not throw as much on the road. They like to run the ball like 40 times. So we saw them do it against the Baltimore Ravens a couple weeks ago. So this could be one of those classic, 2 touchdown, 5 receptions, 60 yards on just crazy Jahmyr Gibbs games. And you're going to get him as like the 8th or 10th highest owned running back. So to me, this is a no-brainer smash spot. Play all the Jahmyr Gibbs. And one thing we didn't talk about, the Lions have the highest team total on the week at 30. The next highest, I think, is 27. So my opinion this week is that you want at least one Detroit Lion in every one of your lineups.
Yep, I love it. Good stuff. Gerson, what you got for one of your top guys?
So I just want to make a couple comments on the picks you guys had. I love both of them. Achane, whatever his name is. If you just did his wide receiver, his receiving production, he'd be a wide receiver 26. So that's pretty incredible. I love the Jahmyr Gibbs call, but this is just something I heard on podcasts and like beat writers and whatnot. I think this could be a big game for David Montgomery. Montgomery's sister is actually coming to the game, and he's from Cincinnati. And so his sister was involved in a car accident and she's paralyzed.
Yeah,
So like
this is her first game that she gets to watch him after being paralyzed. Yep.
So I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, I'd love Gibb to have a big game. I do agree with that, but I wouldn't be shocked if they're at the goal line and they bring in Montgomery to steal the thunder, you know. But it's a great call. Love both of those calls.
Both of them can be good, right? I mean, this
this game's gonna be fun for them. I'm gonna go with Jonathan Taylor. Well, again, I'm picking on the Raiders. It's gonna be a theme. $8,000 is quite a bit, but he's getting CMC level usage.
Mhm.
So if we would get $8,000, and I believe, what is his ownership right now?
He's the third highest.
26, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he's third. He's behind Aiken and Marion Hampton.
Okay. I believe that ownership will go down, to be honest. I think a lot of people will start playing the value running backs that we're going to speak of. And a lot of the top running back ownership is going to change by Sunday. I wouldn't be shocked if that goes down to like 15, 16%, you know. But it's against the Raiders. Raiders are struggling on defensively all over around. And he can catch the ball out of the backfield. The Raiders actually have an okay defense against the run. But, again, if they move the ball to the goal line, they're going to Taylor, you know. And I know that people say Daniel Jones, but Taylor gets a lot of touches in the red zone too. So I'm going to have Jonathan Taylor. Honestly, I think my highest owned running back are going to be Ashan and the running back you mentioned. What was it? Who?
Gibbs?
Yeah, Gibbs.
Yeah. Yeah, I like Taylor as well. 8,000, you're right. I mean, Taylor's got, last game he had 5 receptions on 5 targets, so he is definitely involved in the passing game as well.
Could have had that big touchdown. Thanks a lot, Adonai Show.
Yep. So I'm going to go next here, and I got the aforementioned Breece Hall. Gerson mentioned it's at 5.6 versus Dallas. Obviously, Braylon Allen is put on IR. Going to miss the rest of the season. Breece Hall will get that full workload. I think they'll mix in Isaiah Davis a little bit, but Breece Hall, I think, gets the full workload. He is a pass catcher out of the backfield as well, even though Justin Fields doesn't check it down very often. He can catch the ball if he needs to. And at 5.6, he's just way too cheap for that upside. So Breece Hall is in my favorite plays as well. Tim, why don't you give us one more of your guys?
Well, I guess I'll skip down because I want to talk about a guy I actually have as a value, but I guess he could be a favorite plays. I don't think anybody's going to play him this week, which is crazy, coming off a 25-touch game. It's Cam Scatterbo. I think this week, with all the value, you heard me say it every week. I love having a Friday night show because we get to see all the value. And with all the value that opened up today at running back, I think everybody's going to pay all the way up or pay all the way down. And they're going to skip over this meaty mid-range that includes Cam Scatterbo, who could absolutely go wild against New Orleans this week. They are a team that's weak to running backs. He got, like I said, 25 touches last week and didn't score. I think this week he scores. He breaks off a long one, 100 yards and a touchdown for Cam Scatterbo, and nobody will be on him. I think he's like 10th or let me go back. Hold on. He's like behind 15th. Yeah, he's like 15th in ownership. So he's one of my skeleton keys or whatever you call it to get different this week. Maybe got that. I don't know if he's got the Ashton Jinty level upside, but maybe Omarion Hampton. We'll see.
Yeah, I like it. I'll take another rookie running back here in my value tier. I'm going with Woody Marks. Had a huge game last week. Had a rushing touchdown, had a receiving touchdown. And I know everybody seems to be scared of Baltimore's defense, but their defense has not been very good this year, especially against the run. They're actually 4th worst DVOA versus the run this year so far. Only the Giants, I think the Giants and
Cowboys,
yeah, I think that's the other one that was up there as well. Yeah. So bad defense. Woody Marks gets worked into the passing game quite a bit. Nick Chubb, unfortunately, as much as we love Nick Chubb, is just slowly kind of getting worked out of this offense. 5.4 Woody Marks is just a really good play, I think, in the value tier. Gerson, what you got for one of your values?
Man, I forgot to post that meme that I created, Tim. Look, with Woody.
Value everywhere.
Value everywhere. Yeah, I mean,
That's true.
we talked about value. I don't mind the Gatabo call. I mean, I like it. The Brees Hall call gives me a lot of vibe of Omari and Hampton all over again. But I love that call. Yeah, I'm gonna mention Rachaad White. Rachaad White, 4,700.
Yeah.
I mean, and to give you an idea, he's a good pass catching running back, and I think in this game they're gonna have to pass the ball. Baker's missing, Mike Evans, obviously Bucky Irvin, and I like Tucker. I thought he was talented coming out of I think he came out of Syracuse, right? I could be wrong, or Clemson. It's one of the orange team. I know that, but yeah, it wasn't Tennessee though. Okay, but no. Anyways, Rachaad White, we've seen him have the workload before. While he sucks at running and he does it very ugly, he still gets touchdown. And if I can get a pass catching running back at 4,700, oh man, sign me up. Right now his ownership pretty high too. I mean, it's only Friday, and I think that ownership is going to come up more and more and more. I think right now on RotoGrinder they have him third highest.
Fourth high.
Yeah, so I expect that to come up more even by Sunday, and it's just a great value. I mean, he projected right now. I have him projected for almost 17 points.
Wow.
Yep, good stuff. Tim, you got a guy there that you're calling a free square here. Talk about him real quick.
Yeah, I mean, Gerson just made the case for Rachaad White. I don't know how I follow that, but I actually was planning to play Rico Dowdle because he gets a much better schematic matchup at home against Carolina Panthers. I also expect him to get the bulk of the workload with Chuba being out. And, he's also, I mean, I think we'll see a little Trevor Etienne, but I expect he's going to get about 70% of the snaps. So Gerson always told me if a guy's 4K and is going to get all the snaps, you just play him. So I feel like that's Rico Dowdle this week.
My only worry is their offensive line. They're missing their guard and their center, but that's my worry. And then I'll be honest, I'm not the biggest. I'm not the biggest Bryce Young fan. I just think that guy is like mentally broken. Like he was supposed to be great this year. Like he finished the season strong last year, so I don't know what happened this year. And they got him more weapons. They got him Ted McMillan, but I don't mind. I was debating between. I saw that you said free square, and I was like, dang, that good of a play, huh? But I don't mind the call. I mean, like we said, you're gonna want to play running backs in the flex. So this week, I think I'm gonna allocate all my exposure in the flex to probably like 80% in the flex as running back.
Yep.
I mean, I usually do like 30, and then like 40 for one position. I mean, but this week, I don't see how I'm not going to play all the running backs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I usually do 40, 40, 20. And this week, it's definitely going to be higher than that.
Sure. All right. I just mentioned the last couple of guys that we didn't talk about. We kind of glossed over it, but Amari and Hampton at 6.5, very good play. And Gerson mentioned David Montgomery, but I actually do have him on the chart at 5.2, based strictly on that narrative that they're going to try to get him a touchdown at least, if not two. So I think he's in the value range as well.
If you're playing pick'em, bet the touchdown. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Anytime touchdown.
Agreed. All right, let's move on to the receivers.
And now, wide receivers.
All right.
I got to say something, Geoff. Hold on. Before we get started, I got to say, I thought this was like the ugliest wide receiver slate that I could remember in recent memory. There's literally nobody I want to pay up for. And Gerson has every single slot taken on the sheets. So please go to Gerson first.
Don't hate.
Yeah, Gerson.
Rodrigo came out this week, man. Rodrigo's ready for this.
Yeah, he's got literally. So we have the way our sheet is set up. We have about 8 spots, 9 spots, and we don't always fill all of them. But Gerson's got a name in every single one.
Damn right. Don't make me add more too.
All right, your locks of the week are in here, but they're more value. So we'll start here at the top. We'll go to you first, Gerson. Pick one of your 75 receivers there to talk about.
Yeah, haters, bunch of haters. Yeah, I'm going with. Well, I will. everybody, raise your beer to Tyreek Hill for all those years carrying our fantasy team. Those one-play touchdowns that got us to stand up and say, peace, But I hope you get better, Tyreek. But the one game that Tyreek Hill didn't play was Jalen Waddle. He had 140 yards, and I think it was 8 receptions and a touchdown. The one game. Obviously, he's been in the league 3 years now, and Tyreek was traded his second year when he came in. But, I mean, this guy was a bona fide rookie, right? Like, he got 1,000 yards his first year. He got, 80 catches. I don't know how many touchdowns, but, I mean, we were thinking he was a, top 10 dynasty wide receiver at one point. And now we've been saying it. What would it look like without Tyreek Hill? Sadly, it's coming true. And early on, Tim said, this is going to be a very condensed target tree for Tua. I was like, yeah, his brain is also very condensed right now. But I think he's only going to have one side of his brain work. Target, Waller, and Waddle. That's how it's going to be. But 5,700, I mean, for a guy that's going to be the bona fide wide receiver one,
I think he's 54.
5,400. And they're going to have to, in this game, I mean, they can score on this in this game for sure. It's gonna be easy for them. But I'm excited for this game. I think the Carolina Panthers, it's tough, man. Like they look great against the Falcons, and then they look bad the next week.
Trash against everyone else.
Playing I don't know, good, bad, But yeah, give me the Dolphins. I think I put in a lot of wide receivers, but I'm telling you, Jalen Waddle is going to be in a lot of my roster.
Yeah, I like it.
I will say that I was a little surprised. The hardest roster decision for me this week is Jalen Waddle because I really want to play Achane, and I struggle wanting to play 2 Dolphins in my lineup. But I just think the value is so much that you almost have to.
So I was going to skip over the 2 locks values, but Gerson
did anyway.
Got him anyway, so I got to give him his justice here. Give him his drop.
Lock it in.
So Jalen Waddle is Gerson's lock of the week at 5.4. Correct. And we might as well go ahead and just do yours now, Tim, as well.
Sure.
Lock it in.
So if you would have told me that this guy was going to be my lock of the week in week 5, I would have told you were crazy. I spent most of last season talking about how this guy could not play football. And he went out and proved me wrong, man. It is Quentin Johnson. I cannot believe that this guy is no longer just a one-trick pony. He is the most targeted player in that Chargers system. They're using him in intermediate routes. They're still using him on the go balls, but he's getting targeted. It's an incredible just role that he has in that offense. And at 5,700, he's too cheap. I have Quentin Johnson as a top 5 wide receiver. That also tells you how bad this slate is. But at 5,700, that's just too damn cheap. So, I talked about it at the top. My favorite quarterback this week is Justin Herbert. I'm going to stack him every which way. But my favorite stacking partner is definitely QJ this week. Finally paying off that TCU price tag.
Yeah, 100%. I like it. I'll go next here, and I'll go back to my favorite plays, and I'll just mention copy-paste JSN 7.1 versus Tampa. What can you say about him? He's pretty much targeted pretty heavily. I think last week was the first time that he didn't get six or more targets, but he is the number one option in that offense and just continues to produce week in and week out. Until he gets to that closer to the 8,000 range, I think he's continuing to be playable for me. So at 7.1, I got JSN as one of my guys.
And on any slate that doesn't have Puka on it, he has a shot to be the number 1 receiver.
Yeah, 100%. Gerson, what you got for your next favorite play there?
Yeah, you suck, Puka. You couldn't get 11 yards yesterday.
I know.
I had the under. I had the under on Puka, so I was rooting for him.
Did you? You would.
Coming from a 49ers fan, shocker.
Yes. I thought we were going to get blown out, and then we were just going to run the ball in the fourth quarter. So it didn't work out the way I thought it was going to go.
I when it's rivalry, I always have a hard time thinking the team can get blown out.
Yeah, I just the way we were so injured. I mean, we have no one. I mean, literally no one left, defense or offense. It's like everyone was hurt. So I was like, "There's
Yeah,
no
McCaffrey. That's
No.
all you need.
all we need is McCaffrey."
He just walked in and said, B team, it's B team plus McCaffrey.
Yeah, I think someone said it on a podcast. McCaffrey is like sucking all their souls so that he's
That's correct.
and everybody else is getting
Yes.
hurt.
It's like the
Yes.
base scam.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No, there was something funny that Tim said earlier on, and I started thinking about it. Tim hates Quentin Johnson so bad that when he goes to flag football and someone drops the ball, he's like, "What you doing, QJ? What you doing? Huh? Why are you dropping these balls?"
can't say
The OG body catcher, man. I can't believe it. You almost never see a receiver like usually I think that year 2 breakout, maybe that year 3 breakout, but
Yeah, I was
I'll tell
always
you what,
high on him. Jeff knows this.
Yeah.
I was always high on QJ. I think he had the talent, and he's still dropping balls. He's just making up for it now.
He does. Yeah, he gets 10 targets now, so he can drop one.
yeah,
He used to be Adonai Mitchell, right?
yeah.
It's a totally different role now.
So I'm gonna steal Jeff's guy. I feel like Jeff mentioned him every week. This week for me it's Nico Collins.
Yeah.
No lie, you know it's outside. It's like show.
Nico Collins.
Yeah. So Nico Collins, it's more about now who he's playing. It's what he's gonna play against. Like they have nothing. Kyle Hamilton is questionable, and he's like their best defender. And if he's not out there, that whole defense, it's like playing with the B team. You're playing with like a bunch of rookies and a bunch of veteran players. That Raven defense is just dismantled right now. Or that's not the word I'm looking for, but you know what I mean.
Good enough.
And then Cooper Rush is going to be out there. Oh man,
Yeah.
Geez, I don't know what they're doing, but I mean they're going to rely on King Henry. But if King Henry is anything like he's been the last 2 weeks, I don't know how much you can rely on him.
Yeah.
And Nico Collins against that defense, and the Texans need to get right.
Right.
And this should be a turning point of the season right here. Even though they're gonna beat depleted, that's the word I'm looking for, depleted. A depleted defense. This is the way that they have to turn it around. I mean, are they 0-3? What's the record? 0-4?
They've won.
No, they won last week. They beat Tennessee.
They?
They were 1-3.
No.
Congratulations.
Yeah, 26-0, man. That was my best. I should have put that as my best call last week. Was the Texans defense?
Yeah. No, but yeah, I mean, they got to turn the season around. They got to keep coming. And Nico Collins, he's 6,800. I mean, that's a great pivot from Jackson Smith and Jigba, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know the ownership on Nico, but I don't expect it to be more than 10%. So
yeah, it's
no, I agree.
But yeah, give me Nico.
All right. Tim, you got a couple guys there in your top tier. Go ahead and talk about one.
Well, yeah, I thought so. This guy was such an obvious play. I did not make him my lock of the week, so I feel like we have to talk about him. He might be the lock of the year, the most mispriced player I can remember in recent memory. It's Garrett Wilson. This dude is 6,100, and he has the same role as Puka. He's got the same role as JSN. Now, much smaller target volume, but he's seeing a 35% target share at 6,100. That just doesn't exist. This guy should easily be 7,100, right? 7,500. So yeah, I think this guy is as close to a lock as you get in DFS. Best matchup against the Cowboys. Just lock it in, man. 6,100, too damn cheap for Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, I was trying to pull it up real quick. So Justin Fields played the first. Did he play the first 2 games or 3 games? I can't remember.
2 games.
Justin Fields, because I know he was targeting the hell out of them in those first couple of weeks. 9 targets in week 1, 8 targets in week 2. He had 13 in week 3. So yeah, I mean, tons and tons of targets for sure. So yeah, that's a great call at 6,100. I'll mention one more guy, then we'll move down into the values.
I don't know how they don't have him as the number 1 highest owned receiver.
Yeah,
to me, he was the first guy that when I clicked the slate, I'm like, okay, Garrett Wilson, 6,100, move on. Like,
yeah,
if he doesn't end up as number 1 wide receiver, I don't know what people are doing.
Yeah, I think it may change as we get closer to Sunday for sure.
Yeah,
I'll take. I'll take Debo Samuel here at 6.3.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned earlier with Jaden Daniels, he's their number one target right now. I think Terry McLaurin will be out. I haven't heard definitely that he's out, but I know he was very, very questionable to play. So I think Debo, and they do work him into the running game as well. And he looks explosive. He's back to being the old Debo. Just get the ball in his hands. He can make things happen at 6.3. He's still a pretty good value. All right, Gerson, pick one more of those 9,000 receivers you got there to talk about.
It's 9,001, but okay. I'm gonna go probably the lowest owned play out of those guys. It's gonna be Jameson Williams.
Love it.
I believe this is gonna be a JMO game. Everybody's gonna want to play Amon-Ra St. Brown. I'm going to JMO at 4.9K. The Bengals defense is horrific against downfield passing. And if I see this game going any way, I mean, they're going to do play action against them because they got the running backs to do it. I mean, you can't stop those two running backs. The Cleveland Browns, they said they could. Didn't look like they could, you know. They said they had the best. Oh, they haven't seen an offensive line like ours, a running back duo like us. Well, they haven't seen a defensive line. Well, they saw you guys, and they moved the ball pretty well on you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're going to the Bengals. Whew. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, the best thing about the line that happened to them recently in the last 5 years or whatever long, and the best thing for fantasy, the Dan Campbell is the one that makes the call. And he doesn't care. He will run up that score to 45, 50 points. Yep. He doesn't care. It's like, what's his name? Coach for the Bears, Ben Johnson. He said, when they asked him, how did you feel about them running up the score? He's like, it's the line. That's what they do. Like, he was pissed about it. He knew that's what they do. Mm-hmm. And they're going to do it in this game. So, JMO as a pivot to low ownership and, maybe that 2-touchdown game, 150 coming,
Yeah.
Yep. Play a line in every line.
Yeah. I have JMO in my value tier as well. I thought I'd be a little contrarian there with the JMO call, and Gerson already played him at 4.9. I think this is a JMO game for sure. They've been trying to get him worked in. I think he had 8 targets last week. Unfortunately,
he did, and 2 of them were deep balls that they just missed on.
Hey, he's a great blocker. Guys. He's a great blocker too. He gets points for blocking too.
Not for me.
What you got for your value?
Yeah, so I think this is a pivot play. Okay, I want to state that from the top. I think Jalen Waddle is a much better play, but I think nobody will be playing Marvin Harrison Jr. this week. And with James Conner out, Trey Benson out, they'll be rolling out Michael Carter and Emery DeMarcado. They will not be able to move the ball on the ground. Kyler and Marvin will have to have one of their, well, I say classic, but I don't know how classic it is, but one of their few standout performances. I have Marv projected for 7.5 targets. If he gets 2 downfield targets and they connect, it's GG. So the thing that really attracts me is that everybody basically is skipping over him this week. I clock him in at 5% ownership. So yeah, you give me a 5% ownership play like him, I'm gonna take it. Sorry, Gerson, go ahead.
It's incredible. And Geoff knows this because he actually have watched football for, he could go back to 3 generations.
Right. He remembers the
the leather helmets back in the day. Yep, I remember.
Yeah, I mean, the padded ones, the one with no face mask, just the side one.
Yeah.
Like the wrestlers one that they wear in high school now. But yeah, it was awesome to see him catch that touchdown, and you could tell he was. He's a grown ass man, but he was crying.
He was emotional.
And he was emotional about it. I mean, a lot of people hate on it because he dropped balls. He's not playing up to his potential, but I think this kid is special. It's just the time will come. Honestly, I think Kyler sucks. It's not him. It's Kyler. And Gannon's not that far off from all right, dude, you got to make this offense
out
work.
The door. Oh yeah.
But yeah, I love the Marvin Harrison call. What's his price?
He is
5,400.
Yeah.
Same price as Waddle. Yeah.
Very cheap. All right, so I'm gonna just mention as many of these guys as I can that we have not talked about. We got Pittman at 5.1.
Tet.
Go down. Yeah, we got Tet at 5.7. We got
Olave,
who actually leads the league right now in targets, which is insane to think about, at 5.2. Gerson's got Amon-Ra. He's got George Pickens. And I think that's everybody.
Go to the second page. There's more.
Oh, yeah, there's more. Gerson's got the rest of the players.
It does.
All right, let's get to the defenses.
Defense, 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 defense.
All right, take it away, Tim.
So you probably think I'm going to come on here and tell you to play the Cardinals, but you are wrong. The Cardinals defense is actually trash. And as much as I expect Cam Ward to struggle this week, I'm going to save $100. If I can afford to pay up for defense this week, I'm playing the Lions. They were the number one scoring defense last week. I think they'll be the number one scoring defense this week. Jake Browning is trash. You heard Jamar Chase asking, can we just trade for Jameis Winston or Russell Wilson already? It's embarrassing what's going on there. So whether you play David Montgomery or Jahmyr Gibbs, I think you should stack them with the Lions defense. Mid-range, I really like the Seahawks at home. And then if you have to punt, give me the Texans against Cooper Rush.
Yeah, Texans are a good call. I like that one at 2 points.
I'm calling it right now. Jake Brown will have a trash-ass game and garbage, and then Jamar Chase, he's going to get pissed, and he's going to go to ownership and say, go get me Jameis Winston or Russell Wilson. I don't give a shit. I'm only playing with this guy. I'm not playing with another game with this piece of crap.
Yeah, shout out to all the Bengals fans last night that were like, dude, why don't we have Mac Jones? I'd kill for Mac Jones right now. Like, I was dying.
Yeah.
Mac Jones got a whole new fan base after that game last night, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you see his post game?
Yeah, well, he had the red and black suit.
Yeah, he looked like the Joker guy. But he asked him, he goes, "Yeah, I'm going to work. I wear a suit."
Yeah. Good stuff. Gerson, you want to mention here?
So to me, it's just to be cheap. New Orleans Saints, defense. But I think the Seattle Seahawks defense can be sneaky. I think the Seahawks defense is one of the best defense in the league, to be honest. And they're facing Baker. He has been prone to throw interception. Yeah. But not only that, I mean, they're hurting right now on offense.
They are, yeah.
I mean, they're hurting all over the place. And if the Seahawks defense at 2.7K can get, we don't know Rachaad White. I have to see that talk about Rachaad White. Like, he can fumble the ball, too.
He does.
So, the fumble, a couple picks, it's $2,700. I'm being cheap. But I honestly think with all the value, you don't need to get that cheap at defense because you can fit in the Detroit Lions defense, and you're gonna get a safe 10-point. I think they're like their floor at 10 points. There's no way they don't get 10 points against the Bengals.
Yep.
Agreed.
All right. I had the Lions as well, and that's the only one I listed on there was the Lions because, you can get to the Lions. I think that's what you do at 3.5. I think they're a slam dunk. All right.
And I think every week this year has been won by a pay-up defense, by the way. Yep. So if ever there was a year you just attack the really, really bad teams this year, it's been successful every week.
Agreed. All right, let's get to the stacks.
Goingfor2.com's weekly stack report.
All right, I'll go first here. I have a very non-traditional stack that I picked. So I wanted to stack David Montgomery in the Lions D, but I wanted to have 3 players in there. So I went ahead and threw in Jameson Williams, because they're both very cheap. Demont's, I think, 5.2. Jamo's 4.9. Get the Lions D at 3.5. I think that can be a pretty good stack there. Also good for GPPs because of Jamo. I think they have low ownership. So that is my stack. I think it's going to be one that I'll start my first tournament lineup with and see what I can do with it. Tim, what you got for yours?
Yeah, I talked about how much I like Justin Herbert. So I'll be running out Herbert lineups, primarily stacked with Quentin Johnston, either with throw in some Ladd, throw in some Keenan Allen, maybe some Amarion Hampton, and then run it back with your boy Deebo Samuel.
Love it. Before we get to yours, Gerson, I want to just answer.
I don't hate Gadsden, by the way, if you want to throw him in too.
Oh, yeah.
Like Geoff said, he was probably a week early. So
I'm always a week early, it seems. We got a quick season-long question in the chat that I want to make sure we get to. Trade Chase Brown for Devonta Smith or keep Brown? No, trade him. Get rid of Chase Brown.
Yeah, whatever you can get for Chase Brown at this point, bro.
Yeah. But Devonta Smith hasn't been that great either.
Yeah, he hasn't.
No.
But I have more confidence that he's going to be able to find his way than I do Chase Brown right now. I just that
Yeah.
offense looks terrible. They don't seem
I
to
can't imagine how bad your running back room would have to be for me to tell you to keep Chase Brown.
Agreed. All right, Gerson, what you got for your stack?
Yeah. Chase Brown would be for me too. My stack is we didn't mention him at quarterback, but I am gonna roll out that Dak Prescott stack. Dak Prescott, Ferguson, Pickens, and Wilson.
Yeah,
I think that is probably the highest floor stack you can get.
yeah.
That's just my personal opinion, but I mean, we saw it last week. Pickens was just a monster. He took over the game. I mean, Tim legit said, "Why are you picking on me, huh?" The Green Bay Packers when they were playing them, he's like, "Stop!" You know, Tim lost 10 years of age in that game.
So between that Cleveland Browns game and then to follow that up with the Cowboys game, I have lost 10 years off of my life in the last week. Yeah. The only thing I will say is that the Cowboys are missing 2 starting offensive linemen this week. So I am a little concerned about that.
Yeah, I know you two are both Mountain Time, right? You're both 2 hours behind me. So y'all didn't.
I'm 1, yeah.
You're 1 hour. Y'all didn't feel the pain of us East Coasters staying up for the overtime game just to see a tie. Was it 40?
Yeah, shout out to Scott. Scott in the chat, who was a
yeah.
diehard Cowboys fans who had to stay up to watch a tie and had Cowboys money line on the bet. So
I had to work the
Scott,
next day. I had to be at work at 5 a.m. I had to get up at 3:30, and I was up until 1 o'clock watching that game to see a tie. I was so pissed.
It's called moral support for your wife, Jeff. She's a Green Bay fan, okay? You got to do happy wife, happy life.
Yeah, she was asleep long before that.
She was not happy, yeah. There was no happy.
All right, it's time for our sit call.
Cherry celebrated like they won the Super Bowl, though.
All right, it is sit call time. And Gerson, we alluded to your sit call earlier because I had this guy as a value, but you had him as a sit call. So go ahead and talk about your boy.
Yeah. In case you guys don't know, he has a hot aunt.
That's why Gerson's got him as a sit call.
Yeah. The dad doesn't matter. I mean, he had a Coldplay moment on Monday Night Football.
He did.
It was with his wife, though, guys. Just to clarify, it was his wife. He's just all right, look, we got to be professional here. I'm wearing a gold jacket, It's Jason Taylor's son, Mason Taylor. Mason Taylor, tight end, 2.8K. I believe Mason Taylor is what I would like to call a hybrid tight end. He blocks very well, but he can receive the ball. He kind of reminds me a little bit of Zach Ertz. He's not crazy athletic, but he's athletic enough to catch the ball and just basically get 10 yards, 5 yards, And we saw it last game. In the last game. He got peppered with target. Justin Field just, again, when we say that, what's his name, Tua Tagovailoa has a condensed side of his brain, I believe Justin Field does too, It's 2 targets. It's going to be him. It's going to be Wilson. And then that little tiny corner, Breece Hall. That's it. And 2.8K. I'm happy with this because I believe that was his Monday night price. It stayed at the Monday night price because they couldn't change it, And that probably would have gone up to 3.2K, 3.4, I bet. But that's how I'm going to get really cheap. He is going to be this week or a Gadsden call. So if he gets 5 points, don't come at me. I mean, you can come at me, but I'm not going to respond. I don't lose sleep over this. I just give you advice,
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, what I was going to say about him as my value is you look at week 1, he had 1 target. Week 2, he had 2 targets. Week 3, he had 6 targets, and he had 7 targets last week. So it's gone up every single week. Hopefully that trend continues and he gets involved even more this week. So at 2.8, he is definitely a good play for me.
Yep.
Tim, what you got for your
I am contractually obligated to list this guy as a sit call at least once per season.
Yes.
Okay. And so I am cashing in my token this week for Darius Slayton, aka Slaytron. This is a Slaytron week. Not only is he filling in, he's not really filling. He was already playing with Malik Neighbors, but I do expect he gets a much, much better matchup this week against the New Orleans Saints, who are especially weak to outside wide receivers. So I think this could be the classic 88 yards and a touchdown Slatron week.
Yep.
And you know his son, like, Dad, you play wide receiver for the Giants? No, son, I'm a bench warmer. But when they call for my number, I go in there and get it done.
Yeah. I actually saw this on one of my charts this week. You might have seen it in a thread. He has the highest EPA per attempt of any wide receiver, but he has the lowest volume. He's like all the way in the corner of the chart. Like he's up there with like Puka and JSN in terms of EPA per target, but his target volume is like all the way to the left.
It's like one is not like the other, guys. Look at this.
Yeah, it's the dragon meme, right? Scary dragon, derpy dragon. That's Darius Slatron.
Yeah, I love it. All right, I'm going back to the Miami Dolphins. We talked about Tyreek Hill being out. We talked about Jalen Waddle getting a bump. We talked about Darren Waller getting a bump. David Achane getting a bump. So we haven't talked about Malik Washington at 3.9. A very exciting player. I think he had a punt return for a touchdown, I believe, in week 2.
Against the Patriots.
Yeah, against the Patriots, exactly. And I think
he could run.
One of my writers at Going for Two has been on him since his rookie season, talking about him, and now he's going to get an opportunity here to get some more snaps. And at 3.9, he's one of those guys. One play is all you need, right? He's one play to pay it off, and I think he can get that one play. So yeah, Malik Washington is my sit call of the week, and I have yet to hit on one. Both Gerson and Tim have hit theirs, at least one. I have not hit on one, so hopefully.
What an idiot! Like Tim.
I want y'all to know Cole Kmet had 9 targets last week and did not hit a $3,000 price tag. The process was there, just the results were not.
Yep, agreed.
I'm just kidding, Geoff. You'll hit one.
I'm watching that Bears game. It's like Cole Kmet target, drop. Cole Kmet target, miss. Cole Kmet target over his head.
Yep, it was pretty bad.
So it's funny because you have Malik Washington and I have Mason Taylor. I'm like, oh, okay, wait. I was thinking about Malik Washington too. Crap. And then I'm like, dang, if he hits, I'm gonna get pissed that I didn't go to the sheet first.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of a guy, now that we're at the end of the show, that we might have been a couple weeks early on, I also like Gerson's call of Troy Franklin from 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
He's a little sneaky this week, too.
Yeah, good call. All right, fellas, that wraps the show up. I know someone mentioned in the chat, I think it was Joe, mentioned the ownership tool. If you are in the DFS group on Facebook or on the DFS Roundtable on Facebook, I put out my ownership every week. It's
must read.
Yeah, it's super useful. Everybody seems to like it. So if you're not in there, it's all free. I don't charge for any of it. So go in there and check it out. I'll be posting it probably tomorrow morning because I worked late tonight, so I'm not going to get it up tonight, but I'll get it up tomorrow morning. You can find that in the group.
Geoff is underselling it. It is the best free ownership projections on the internet.
Appreciate that, Tim. All right, let's go around the room real quick. Give us anything y'all want to talk about. We'll go to you first, Jose Rodrigo.
Yeah, this is the most embarrassing moment of my life, having this mustache for the last hour. As a Hispanic, as a beaner, I've never actually rocked a mustache.
You didn't actually tell us why you had the mustache. We know, but you got to tell them why.
Oh, did we not? Oh, we didn't talk about that on the show, huh? This was off the show.
Yep.
So it was when the Raiders played the Washington Commanders, and I was like, no, there's no way the Commanders are going to be that great with
score more than 20. Yeah.
And I said less than 20 points, and Tim said more. Yeah, well,
like 40.
Yeah. They scored 4. They doubled it.
Yeah.
So that was the bet. I didn't come on here to look like a porn star for fun, okay, guys?
It took 2 weeks from Gerson to go to Raiders defense isn't really that bad to play all your players against the Raiders.
Yeah, exactly.
2 weeks.
Hey, you shut up. You just tied a game.
I just watched
40 points.
Yeah, I just watched them give up 40
points. Hold on. Let me go. Let me do this. We came from, we can run the table. We can go undefeated. We have the best defense in the league. To losing to a close game with the Browns, and a 40-40 game against the Green Bay, against the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Yeah. That was brutal. It's been a rough 10 days or 2 weeks, that's for sure.
All right, Tim.
Yeah, I mean, find me in misery watching Packers games. You can also find me at Keto DFS on Twitter. And then I do my weekly thread in the DraftKings group every week on Facebook. You should hop in there.
Yeah, agreed. The thread is a lot of useful information if you need to get in there and learn some DFS stuff. All right, fellas, that wraps everything up. And for Tim, for Jose, I am Geoff. Good luck in week 5, and we'll see y'all next week.
Go Packers!